All right, we are live. Just do a quick test. All right, sounds good enough to me. Let's open up the chat. How are we doing today, chat? No drop frames, that's good. And I think we are ready to go almost. Looks like Zain has already picked out his 3 characters because he just dumped 3 characters into a bag. Chykka still has his full roster out. I believe both players are in voice chat with each other, so I think we're going to be starting relatively soonish. Let me make sure I have my chat up and open so they can catch any game state errors that I will miss, because it is a little bit. It is 10 o'clock, so we're doing a little late night exceed this time around. Especially because I imagine this game will go on for about 2 hours. Okay, looks like they've turned on their hidden areas. Chykka's already ready. Looks like he picked a Season 3 character. Let me turn off vibrate, because I'm pretty sure last time you guys accidentally heard my phone go off a couple times. Really, very, very unprofessional by me, but I mean, you know how it is. Let me change my color to spectator. Looks like both players have picked their characters. I didn't do an intro. Nah, we're not. We're not gonna do an intro. Feeling lazy. Looks like we're gonna have the Mole Knight against the Fight. Very, very interesting. Both players picking Season 4 characters right off the bat. I don't know why I'm filling in these little portraits at the top, if I'm being honest. There we go. Looks cute, I guess. We'll fill in the Mole Knight cards first. So we have Burrow Dig, we have Diving Dig. Okay, we're not. I guess they're not going to be enough, but that's fine. We have Block Push, we have Belly Slide, and we have Headbutt. We have Cave In, and we have Erupt. And for fights, we have Explosive Shot, Retreating Bolts. This would be an interesting matchup for sure. Charge, Lightning Gun, Flamethrower, and of course the Railgun. No Astrals. Alright, so we have Zain on Mole Knight. He's on red side. Oh yeah, sorry. We have the team names up on the top instead of the player names. So Zain is a part of Team Cowboys. So far, his team has scored 5 points out of a possible 12 against Chykka, who is on blue side. And he's representing Team Wardens of the Garden, who have scored a possible 8 points out of 12. So actually doing really well for themselves, and have a possibility to just be able to take, I believe, if Chykka wins all 3 games, his team will be tied for first. But I believe Rose has yet to play her set as well, so they have a possibility to just outright just take a massive lead going into week 3, which I believe is the final week. So anyway, we see Fight Prep on turn 1, and we're going to see the Stonewall boosted from Mole Knight. Mole Knight This does cost a force, but it's +2 armor, +2 guard. We take a look at Fight's kit here. We do see a couple long-range options in the explosive shot. 3 to 5, 3 5, but of course Fight can increase the power on his attacks with his UA by spending force for +1 power each, so you can pump this up to 5 power on front side, ignoring armor. And then the Electro Charge, so we have a little bit of a fast slow mix-up, right? Because the Electro Charge is going to be a 4 to 6, 5 1, but these options actually don't matter because we see the power jump boosted by Chykka. It's basically going to be an advanced 2 with a key charge on it. So Chykka looks like he's preferring that melee range. Maybe we're going to see something like a cross come out here, but no, it's just going to be the Hail Mary reading coming out from Zain here. We know Zain loves going for these early. Unfortunately, it whiffs. I think we're just going to see a cross come out here, although we see a pretty spicy hand of a 1-3 EX Assault, 6, an Electro Charge, and a Flamethrower. That's a pretty spicy hand. I'm assuming that whatever was red will just lose to cross here. But, I mean, that's Zain, right? We have casted Zain many times before. We know he loves going for these early, not the highest percentage readings to try to get that early advantage. But unfortunately, I don't think it's going to work out here. Unless, of course, what was red is something that loses to headbutts. Looks like Chykka is just going to play the cross. Let's see what Zain picks. And Zain does eke it out with the headbutt here. And that headbutt's going to win the speed tie. So dive was right according to Chykka. So obviously Zain was going to go faster than speed 4. But it is the headbutt. And headbutt is such a good card. It's a card that really deserves that 1 force cost. You know, Season 5 has some janky force costs. For reasons other than the card deserving a force cost, but Headbutt really does deserve this force cost because this card is just so good. I mean, it's a fast that beats slows, right? In a lot of cases, right, at range 2. Just such a good card. In this case, we'll gain advantage as well as soon as Zain validates it. Yep. And Zain will validate it with the dive. Both these characters, but Mole Knight especially, really wants to build gauge early because if we look at his exceed cost, his exceed cost is 4, right? So we're just probably just gonna see the burrow prep here come out from Zain. So yeah, that's gonna be moving your burrow to range 3 and drawing a card. We'll take a look at Burrow's effect here. So when you initiate a strike, as we see Chykka spend 2 force in the form of Spike and Focus to move to range 3, where that EX Assault, of course, is going to be a very good option. Especially with the additional power. On top of that, Fight stands on the burrow, which reads, before, if your burrow is unoccupied, advance or retreat until you're in space. So when you initiate a combat as Mole Knight, so we see the Molten Armor come out here. A pretty expensive boost early on, but additional range means that perhaps Mole Knight will be able to contest this EX Assault. Which I don't think Chykka will play on offense. Actually, maybe Chykka will play this on offense, because 1 focus is down. But anyway, as I was saying, this burrow, right, when Mole Knight initiates, he can declare as initiating from the burrow, and then his attack will have this before clause on it. Anyway, we are going to see Chykka initiate that EX Assault. It's going to be an expenditure of 2 force in the form of Flamethrower, so it's going to be +2 power on it as well. This is going to be 6 speed EX Assaults at 7 power. This Molten Armor was boosted, which, like, telegraphs EX Cross, but I feel like Zain doesn't have it. Zain does have the second focus, however, so that's going to trade pretty well. It's going to be 3 power incoming to the focus, and the focus will hit back for 3 as well. Focus will also draw a card. Zain builds gauge number 2. Like I said, gauge super important for Mole Knight because once he gets that 4 gauge, he's able to flip. And when he flips, not only does he get additional choice on where the burrow goes, the burrow can go at range 2, 3, or 4. But whenever this burrow ability is activated, Mole Knight will get +2 power. So absolutely insane. A very good exceed. You see a ton of Mole Knight players love to rush gauge Like, even by playing obvious fast cards on offense, just for that. We're going to see the Cave-In boosted here for Zain. That's going to be either moving the burrow one space, or if Chykka finds himself on top of the burrow at the start of Mole Knight's turn, that's going to be 4 damage done. Chykka just preps back in response. Fight a character that needs a lot of resources, right, to get maximum use out of this UA. Does have a third ultra to do so, but Zain will move the burrow one space closer to fight. Of course, this is a continuous boost, so it will stay in play. Is actually forced to move the burrow one space, but then uses the UA to put the burrow back at range 3 and preps. Interesting. So I wonder what the purpose of this boost was then, if he's just gonna put the burrow back at range 3 and prep, right? Because you can just normal prep, keeping the burrow at range 2, but Zain decides to boost this, move the burrow, and then move it back, so I'm not really sure what's going on there, if I'm being quite honest. Anyway, it's back to Chykka here, who has a hand that is almost full. Has long side of the board, so maybe... Nope, we're actually just going to see that the electric charge boosted. That's going to be the speed shell, +1 speed, after retreat 1. Might have interesting interactions here if Zain chooses to initiate from burrow, because fight might be at range 3 at the end of this strike instead of range 2. Looks like we're going to see an initiation from Mole Knight here. I'm assuming this is from the burrow, although we're not 100% sure because these players are in voice chat and not in text chat, so we can't actually tell. But if Mole Knight can get gauge number 3 here, he's off to a very good start. Already has the life lead, 26 to 21. And Chykka's just going to wild swing this. It's going to be a sweep into a focus. So the sweep will go first. Hit for 4 after armor. Drops the block from Chykka's hand. And then this focus will hit back for 4, of course. And we'll draw a card. And fight will retreat 1. So 4 for 4, but both players build their 3rd gauge. Fight also has a very good exceed side. Just allows him to play 2 continuous boosts from his discard. So basically, in a lot of cases, just says win the next strike. Funnily enough, and can build a tempo off that as well, right? Off winning that strike. So fight succeed also very important. Also allows him to overload his attack by 3 force instead, so +3 power. And +3 power is very important. Allows to break, helps break certain breakpoints for sure. As we see the light boosted from Chykka, that's +2 speed. Back to Zain here. Zain notably cannot. Oh, he can place the burrow underneath fight. I actually did not know that. I don't remember that rather. But instead, we're going to see the tunneling come out here. So advance or retreat up to 3. Then, if you're on your burrow, add this card to your gauge. So this is like basically just a key charge, but better, right? Let's see if Zain uses this as a key charge. You can choose to advance 0, right? And Zain actually chooses to retreat 0 and builds that 4th gauge off the diving dig. So we're going to see an early exceed here come out from Mole Knight, with Chykka still having to go through 22 HP. Of course, fight the king of comebacks, and this isn't even really in comeback territory just yet. But of course, with that +3 power, fight can just make you look silly, right? I've had many a comeback with fights. I'm assuming Chykka's just gonna strike here into this. Potentially with +2 power. I feel like it'd be a dive over a spike. But yeah, we're gonna see strike here. It's gonna be an expenditure of 2 force for +2 power once more. Chykka has +2 power, +2 speed right now, so I mean, dive spike are gonna be your likely threats, especially with EX assault already down. Could also be an explosive shot. And it is that explosive shot beating the wild swing block. That is a little bit unfortunate there if you're Zain. That's going to be 5 power explosive shot incoming. that railgun that was discarded for force gets added into the gauge for Chykka as well. So big strike there. 7 speed, 5 power explosive shot. Not a lot of things that beat that. However, we do see the Mole Knight exceed. So we can see here once again, Mole Knight gets better control on where the burrow goes. With the prep UA, and once Mole Knight pops out of that burrow, that's going to be +2 power incoming. So how will Chykka deal with this? I'm assuming it's just going to be an exceed coming out here from Chykka at some point in the near future. He has good boosts. He doesn't have a fierce in here, but he does have a light. And I think he has a boost that allows him to gain gauge, right? So something like a Moth Orb. I think there's a Flamethrower in there, if I'm not mistaken. And Flamethrower is also a card that allows you to gain gauge. And of course, Fights UA, I believe, puts them... I can't remember if they're free or not. But I believe it says put into play, so I believe it is free. But I'm assuming it's going to be a prepare, or an exceed. It's going to be either an exceed action or a prepare action coming out here from Fight, and I prefer the exceed action here. Just put a little bit of pressure on Mole, but no, Chykka says not ready for that just yet. Just prepares. As I quickly correct spelled explosive wrong on the card tracker. Mole Knight prepares, but then no, Mole Knight, excuse me, does the Mole Knight prepare, right? So place the burrow. Chooses to place the burrow at range 2 from himself or range 1 from Fight. So now it's going to be basically super above curve. Should Mole Knight choose to initiate here, we're going to see the light boost. So we're going to see Fight exceed here. So of course, 2 continuous boosts will be put into play. And it's going to be the X-Florb and the light. So +2 speed. Now advance to retreat 2. Fight choosing to retreat 2. So this is telegraphing second explosive shot really heavily here. It's speed 7 with 6 total power, because of course Fight can now overload his attacks for +3 power. In response, we're going to see the second copy of Block Push boosted as the Stone Wall. So it's +2 armor, +2 guard. The guard will definitely help some. Spending cross for it. Unfortunately, Zain does find himself at range 4. And the only guarded fireball type option, the only guarded long range option is that Block Push. Both of them are down, however. Nothing else from range 4 that Mole Knight can throw is guarded, except for the Erupt, but of course Zain has no gauge, right? So this is just going to be a free explosive shot coming here for Chykka. And yeah, obviously you overload this by 3, right? Spend 1 card from hand and maybe even spend the railgun from gauge, and that's exactly what Chykka's going to do here. So it's going to be a +3 power explosive shot coming out here from Chykka, which makes this Stonewall really kind of questionable, huh? And yeah, it's the Wild Swing Cross, but with the light, of course, that's going to beat the Wild Swing Cross. That's going to be another 6 damage coming in for Chykka here. Of course, that railgun gets recycled back into the gauge, and then we have a hit effect of put the top 2 cards of your deck into the gauge as well. So there's a sweep and a grasp into the gauge for Chykka. Chykka now has a bunch of force to work with. Both explosive shots are down, but funnily enough, now the railgun option is up. That said, it is now Zain's turn, so Zain will get to initiate from the burrow for +2 power, almost assuredly. He has 6 cards to do so. And yeah, I mean, I guess we're playing the game of, is this Spike or no, right? Is this Spike or is this Headbutt? This is going to be a +2 power strike, by the way, as well. Chykka just going for the Wild Swing. It is the dive. So the dive will go first, actually. We'll hit for 5, and that sweep will pop up and hit back for 8. Zain going slow there, interestingly enough. Did not really expect to see that. Discards the LG. Very good Ultra here for Fights. Discarded. But Zain only at 6 HP, and look at the options that Zain has left. Just really just out of those defensive options, right? Has the belly slide, but other than that, is out of armored options, so this could be it here if Chykka has the right card to strike with. Because of the +3 power that Fight can put down on the board. Right? So we're looking at something like Belly Slide being the only armored option left for Zain at this point in time. And Chykka just going for it. This is going to be a +3 power strike. This is probably just going to be the second grasp, if I had to guess, from Chykka here. And then can choose his range afterward, right? So can choose maybe lightning gun range at range 3. Although that does bring the burrow into play, so maybe not. This could also just be a slow, right, from Chykka as well. To try to bait out the armored option. It is the fast. It's that retreating bolts. At speed 7, so this is basically just going to be like a grasp, right? Will hit for, 4 damage after armor, because this is going to be 5 power. That belly slide, however, is going to hit back. Actually, it's going to miss, sorry, because it only hits 1 to 2. So Zain does play that armored option from hand. Advances slightly, but now finds himself at a life deficit of 9 to 2. As that retreating bolts does what? I mean, essentially is grasp in this situation, right, with +3 speed. Back to Zain here, and he's got to figure out a way to win this. I mean, there is obviously second headbutt would do a whole lot for Zain in this position if he has it in hand. Second headbutt actually might even make Zain win. That is an illegal position for the burrow. It is an illegal position for the burrow, so okay, whatever. Just puts out range 1 on the other side. I'm sure that's acceptable. Back to Fight here. And does Fight have the strike to win the game? I guess is the question. Maybe something like second cross would do it. Second cross with any amount of power would basically just checkmate here. Chykka has 3 cards in hand, 7 in deck. Chykka maybe just think about spending a force to take a step back. Okay, yep, jump back. However, I mean, Zain is still in the game, however, right, off this. Can advantage chain with something like an assault, for example, although assault does lose to that second copy of lightning gun. So maybe Chykka is just representing the second copy of lightning gun at speed 6. As we are going to see Mo Knight initiate from range 3. This is pretty risky. Risky initiation here due to the speed 6 option at range 3 of the lightning gun. Chykka does have a block available as well. Wonder if this is a wild swing from Chykka. I wonder if he puts additional power onto it. Doesn't need to though, right? Doesn't need to. Actually, doesn't need to ever, just because this is the last armored option is just that belly slide, because we don't have gauge yet for the cave in if you're Mole Knight. So actually, doesn't need to boost this with additional power if Chykka is going for the wild swing. If you're Mole Knight here, you actually do have to declare from burrow as well, just in case Chykka crosses out, you can pop out of that burrow, and still hit if you're Mole Knight here. So obviously this is going to be, funnily enough, a declaration from the burrow. Even though the burrow is occupied currently, it just forces Chykka to not be able to play cross or retreating bolts, basically. Chykka checking his deck. Doesn't have a whole lot of options left. Actually, both of these got played. Does have decent wild swing odds with a bunch of ultras there, unless they're stuck in the hand, of course. But this is still anyone's game here. This strike could be the last one of the game, but Chykka, just go for the Wild Swing. It's going to be the Wild Swing cross. And it's the dive. Oh no, Mole didn't declare from Burrow. So the dive will miss. That is a huge error there if you're Mole Knight. You obviously have to declare from the Burrow. But no, that Wild Swing cross will save Chykka for the meanwhile. But that's a little bit of unfamiliarity with the character there. But you have to declare from Burrow in that position, especially with one copy of Retreating Bolt and one copy of Cross Up. Funnily enough, Chykka should have spent for Force just in case he Wild Swung the Retreating Bolts there to beat the dive. I guess in hindsight, right? Because you get additional speed. As we see the second copy of Retreating Bolts boosted here for Chykka, that's going to be Stun Immunity, now Advance or Retreat 1. Figures that there's no way Zain can do 9 damage here. So actually not a mistake from Chykka, because the Retreating Bolts was in hand and could not have been Wild Swung there. Funnily enough. Back to Zain here. And how is Zain going to chew through 9 HP of Fight is the question. I guess it starts with a defend boost. That's okay, starts with a defend boost. I'm not really sure what that's doing, if I'm being honest. Chykka, looking at the discard here, I mean, a card like Lightning Gun just wins the game. A card like Flamethrower also wins the game here, with the Sun Immunity in play. Maybe Zain needed to reshuffle to get his blocks back. Something along those lines. No, Chykka just perhaps doesn't have the cards in hand for... And then Zain decides to put the Burrow down again. Perhaps trying to cross out of any position here. Right? On offense? But, like, this feels too slow. This feels like Chykka just wins from here. 2 cards left in deck, so surely if it's the answer's on hand, the answer's in deck. You cannot Burrow on defense, right? Surely Burrow Prep has to be the wrong play here. Too slow. Need a reshuffle. Chykka gets the parry out. Parry will miss. As we see a hand of 3-5-7, Diving Dig, Burrow, Headbutt, Cave In. Parry block. I'm pretty sure both those are down, no? I thought both of those were down. And they are down. I don't know what Chykka's doing here. Chykka did not recognize that both blocks are down. And decides to parry block. This is now, we're now into late night Exceed territory officially. We're going to see CC here dropping all the known normals, looks like. Or maybe a move back. Maybe jump back. That's going to be CC3 drawing 4. I'm just super confused what's going on here. Very, very sloppy play from both players, but okay. Fine, I guess. We'll just hang out at range 1. I believe Zain needs to draw 1 more card off the top. Yep. Basically, he has 1 copy of every special outside the block push. And then a copy of Cross, although I feel... yeah, and then the Cross just gets discarded. Chykka, now recognizing that both blocks were in the discard, has lost his opportunity. Zain now has a decent chance of... I mean, not decent, but, you know, some chance of top-decking the block. Chykka recognizing his mistake, now just going for the strike here. Doesn't need to pump this up with additional power, just because there's only 2 HP left. Will Zain top deck the block? Actually does pump power onto it. I mean, I guess you're not really using those cards, so it's not a big deal. And then if Zain happens to Wild Swing the block, then of course will require additional force expenditure. But Zain had a bunch of force in hand, so I'm not really sure what this +3 power is doing here if you're Chykka. I feel like it's not doing a whole lot. And I'm pretty sure this is just going to be an ultra. Pretty sure it's going to be the flamethrower here. Oh, flamethrower requires force for... Oh, it has to be flamethrower because flamethrower requires the force expenditure. Okay, that's why, yeah. Oh, yeah, that's why I went for the force expenditure because I just assume this card always hits 1 to 4. But yeah, it doesn't actually hit 1 to 4 unless you spend. That is my bad there, for sure. So yeah, this is flamethrower from Chykka. I'm pretty sure this is inescapable here. If you're Mole Knight, you just need to wild swing the block. Or draw the block, rather. One of the two. I was wondering what the force suspension was for, but yeah, no, that makes perfect sense. We need to be spending the force here to actually get the range. Yeah, just really slow gameplay here by Zain towards the end here, making this like almost inevitable. I mean, Chykka could have made it inevitable, but then like Chykka decided to throw as well. I don't know, just I feel like Zain needed way more deck acceleration than he got this game, and I guess I'm talking like it's over because it's not over. Zain has what, like a 2 in however much chance, like 2 in 19 or something to wild swing the block or have the block on the top of the deck. So yeah, I guess the question is, did Zain draw the block? Zain just goes for headbutt, and yeah, that's not going to work. This flamethrower is 1 to 4 with stun immunity, and Chykka takes game 1 with the fight over the Mole Knights. Really, some really questionable endgame stuff there from both players, but we got there in the end. That's going to be what, 4 power? 4 power headbutt after armor or something, or 4 power headbutt, and then Chykka will hit back for the win. Because his headbutt cannot escape the 1 to 4 flamethrower. Okay, that is going to be a win for Chykka's team. The Wardens go up to 9 points. Just a reminder, I believe the best scoring team so far has 11 points out of a possible 18. This is Chykka's team scoring 9 points out of a possible 13 thus far. So doing really, really well for themselves are the Wardens of the Garden. The Cowboys can still secure, if Zane's able to win the next 2 games, can secure a respectable 10 points out of a possible 18 by the end of this week. Chykka says, glad I didn't throw from counting blocks, of course. And we are going to move to game 2. Just a reminder, neither player can pick a Season 4 character now. So we're going to see either Season 3 or Season 5 come out. I'm not going to pull out the roster because I'm too lazy to do so. Zain, I'm pretty sure, has already picked his characters before the set. Like, he picked out 3 characters and is going to go with those. Let's see what Chykka goes with here. I mean, technically we could have followed the mouse and seen what the character is, because he did put his characters in an order, but it's not that deep. As we see the Chykka coming out here for Zain into the Carl Clover. This is it's not a matchup I'm very familiar with, I'll be honest. I don't really like Chykka as a character very much. I am familiar with fighting Carl Clover, but not so much analyzing as Carl Clover. Because of course Migo was the Carl Clover main back in the day. So I have a ton of Carl Clover experience, weirdly enough. Volante, Brio, Foco, Laetabilis, and of course the Rhapsody. And for Taukaka, we have what's Double Paw, Kitty, Litter, Slashy, excuse me, not Slashy, Slash, Trick Edge. So we just saw some Taukaka gameplay, what, last time, I want to say? Maybe 2 times ago? We have not seen Carl Clover in a while, so we'll take a look at the, oh, this game's already started. We see the Slashy boosted. Look at the top card of your deck. You may discard it, put it back, then you can Wild Swing. Of course, we can take a look at Taukaka's Wild Swings here, and it's going to be an Assault beating an Assault here. Chykka takes 4 damage. But of course, Taukaka's Wild Swings on offense have this very, very potent... What's Zain doing here? Zain does not know how his character works, but okay. Taukaka's initiations have before advance 2, then you may spend 1 force to retreat 2. Very, very powerful on offense. Obviously does nothing on defense, so Taukaka's defense is very, very poor. Clover, a little bit more of a complicated character than that. Has the puppet Nirvana in his disposal. Some of his attacks come out from Nirvana. Nirvana can be disabled with that before effect that she grants to her opponents. Of course, this was a gain advantage for Zain, so Zain will be going again. Going to be striking with a card from hand, so fast slow mix up here. Taukaka has a long side of board, so something like Sweep does performs really well here, as well as the Grasp. Has hit draw 2 as well off the Feral Fury. Excuse me. Never thought I'd have to read Taukaka boosts out loud. But yeah, Carl Clover, definitely a very interesting character. Both these characters probably on the weaker side of Season 6 for sure. At least in my opinion, I think these are 2 of the weakest characters in Season 5, excuse me. But that before effect is actually really, really important for Carl Clover's opponents. You can disable Nirvana for a turn, and on top of that you build Gauge. It's just very, very good. But of course, Nirvana has the sandwich property, so if the opponent is in between Carl Clover and Nirvana, special and ultras have +1/+1, so pretty powerful effect there. We'll take a look at the hit real quick. Actually, probably not. Looks like Chykka's going to respond with the EX Grasp or something. Responds with the EX Konanima! That is a spicy response here. Not something you see every day here. Beating out that focus, so... I mean, wow. And this, of course, is pretty spicy. Forces Zain to discard 2 cards at random, so has to discard the rest of his hand. The focus will get stunned out. The EX Konanima, we'll take a look at this, right? Calculates from Nirvana, so Nirvana's at range 1. 6 total power at 3 speed with 5 defenses. Ignores guard. So Spike-like option here from Nirvana. Nirvana plays a little bit like a grappler, right? Has the slow option that ignores guard and the fast option. But wow, big call out there, right? Because if Zain went for a fast there, Zain could just disable the Nirvana with the before effect. But not so much here. Wild Swing Grasp loses to Chykka's own Grasp. Taukaka is getting pushed back, looks like. Pulled into the corner. That's going to be gauge number 2 built for Carl Clover at this point. And Taukaka's just going, man. Taukaka says, no hand, don't care, Wild Swing. Funnily enough. Let's see, I mean... I'm assuming if Clover has the cross, he just kind of plays the cross. If not, just like Wild Swing yourself. And then just pray. Definitely did not expect to see that EX Konanima come out so early. That hit effect is pretty spicy too. Like I said, still loses to the fasts, right? Because you can just disable that Nirvana. But Chykka is successfully going for the read. Chykka just playing that cross from hand is going to definitely... I mean, that Katie Leader special is doing nothing, right? Gets stunned out in the process. Clover finds himself at range 5, which is a little bit weird, because now Chykka can Wild Swing with the range 3 mix-up at range 5, but of course it's still just Wild Swing, so also who cares, I think, in a lot of cases. Maybe there's a world where Carl Clover steps back, but we're not in that world. Carl Clover just preps. Chykka just preps. Back to Clover here. And this kind of positioning, right, as soon as we're going to see what I like to call the Nirvana prep, because Clover's a bad character, so he actually doesn't get to prepare with his action, but just as an action, Nirvana can be moved one space. So Nirvana's coming, she's coming to Chykka, right, and this is the kind of position you really want to see if you're Clover. So Clover is kind of out of harm's way, as we see an expenditure of 2 force to move to range 3, putting himself in the sandwich, however. Is Chykka, so of course Nirvana is going to grant +1/+1 to specials and ultras. Nirvana, of course, just gonna actually just move towards Clover, and we're gonna see just a Wild Swing here from Chykka. Wild Swing block is the 7-speed option in the Brio, 8 speed in fact. So this is actually a 0 to 1 4 8. Does require a force to validate. Chykka looks like he chooses to cross from his gauge to do so. What's... I think Chykka just moved the wrong... Yeah, Chykka just moved the wrong card there, because of course Brio pushes the opponent not to advance his Nirvana. A little bit of late night exceed going on here, clearly. Looks like Zain chose to pay a force in the form of sweep from hand to not take any damage. So right off the bat, we got like a really big tell from Zain's Chykka, because he chose not to Wild Swing at 5. He chose to move, but immediately that gets overwritten, as Zain is Wild Swinging from 5. So he technically does have the range 3 mix-up, just depending on what card's at the top of his deck. Such is the life of a Chykka player, right? This is relatively safe unless the second Cone Brio comes out. It is, that is an interesting option. At 7 power, Chykka must choose to validate first, right? So Chykka validates this, right? It's going to hit for 7. This Ultra is not going to get stunned. And this Ultra will hit back for what, 3? We'll get the push effect and get the movement effect on Nirvana as well. So Zain does have to validate this first, should he choose to take it. But as soon as Zain validates this, Chykka will validate his own Wild Swing Ultra, funnily enough. So does Zain want to take the trade? Zain says no to the trade. Zain instead Wild Swings a dive, and that's going to perform very, very well against this Ultra. So now Chykka's going to invalidate his Ultra and go for something better, and gets the focus, so just gets a little bit of armor. But this dive's going to hit first for 3 power after armor. Chykka's going to miss, of course, but draw a card. Funny Chykka things. Chykka also finds himself on the other side of the board, and look at poor Nirvana all the way here. Such is the life of a Carl Clover player. Nirvana is too slow, unless of course you choose to exceed with Clover. But such is Tau. Looks like it's just going to be a grasp here from Chykka to get. Oh no, not Volante. Excuse me. I mean, it's essentially functions similarly to grasp as far as movement's concerned, but going to get Chykka back into the sandwich. It's actually the Wild Swing //. Will go first. We'll hit for what? Up to 4 after armor. We'll go first. We'll push Clover 2, which is actually kind of sucks. Because now this hit effect won't go off, and B, this after effect means that Clover cannot cross over Tau Kaka here and make the sandwich. It's actually a decent wild swing there. Zain, of course, spending the 2 force here, so he gets to draw 2 cards as well. It's going to be 4 damage after armor. This Volante will hit back for 3. And Clover will advance to range 1, but reminder, does not make the sandwich because of this wild swing. Back to Tau Kaka here. Range 1, definitely not wild swing range. Has only 2 gauge, so Tau Kaka's range 1 doesn't have this this option here, the Hex Edge, just yet. So yeah, just gonna be a prepare action from Zain. This option's pretty decent. Just always tends to win. Doesn't trade quite well enough against the slows, but I mean gets you advantage as well. Pushes great as well. So pushes the opponent to range 3, where Tau can just wild swing again with this UA, right? But we're not there yet for Zain with only the 2 gauge. Back to Chykka here. Chykka just boosting defend at range 1. Makes sense to me. Zain looks like he's just gonna prep again. Yeah, just the prepare action once more. Again, Nirvana caught in no man's land. The only card that will hit here is the Volante at range 5 for Nirvana. Wonder if this defend is to help facilitate a Cantable, perhaps? Hit, pull, or pull 1 or 2. If you initiate the strike, draw 1, gain advantage. Move Nirvana up to 1 space on an after. But most importantly, just establishes that sandwich, right? And with the defend, it's like pretty safe. You're probably gonna lose the trade. We're actually just gonna see a parry come out here from Chykka. Parry misses. We see a hand of 5, 6, 7, double paw strike, trick edge, and hex edge. We'll actually zoom in on those because I don't think I actually looked at Tau Kaka's kick before the game started. So hex edge is that ultra that we were talking about. Double paw strike is like a weird mid-speedish card that performs well enough with the UA. And trick edge is your ignore guard range 1 option. Focus was parried. Okay, thank you. Okay, Chykka resolves his boost, draws a card for end of his turn. And we see the surprise boosted. That's going to be on the trick edge, discarding grasp into the wild swing. So if the opponent's at range 1, retreat 2 and strike. Strictly worse quick backdash. Costs the force and also forces you to strike at the end of it. We're very, very, very strictly worse quick backdash, funnily enough. But hey, on Tau Kaka, sometimes it's a boost worth playing. So weirdly enough, we saw a grasp in the hand. I don't know why we crossed that out, but whatever. Oh, we crossed it out just because it just got spent. Never mind. Chykka, now, I mean, now it's just math, right? It's kind of boring math to see what are the chances that Tau Kaka wild swings a fast, a slow, a spike, that kind of thing. And then you just kind of play the odds and hope that things work out in your favor, which they do. It's going to be the Assault beating the wild swing spike. Wait, no, the Assault does not beat the wild swing spike, because of course spike has 4 guard. So yeah, that spike will hit back for 5. Fun. Just Tau Kaka things, right? Assault beating, spike beating Assault there. Just Tau Kaka things. That 4 guard. We'll take a look at that spike art there. I don't really see the season 5 art too much, just because I personally play with the season 2 normals, or I play with my own normals. D, when are you putting my normals into the set, please? And Card Clover's health lead down to just 1. Tau Kaka does have find herself inside the sandwich. The only issue is Nirvana is just so far away that in a lot of cases this actually doesn't matter too much. There is a boost that allows Nirvana to move. There's like La Campanella, and there's Hurry Sis. Hurry Sis doesn't move her far enough. La Campanella just recalls Nirvana. Not really sure if that's super useful in this position either. Maybe a La Campanella into a Vivace. The problem is you're spending these really, really good specials. In the Con Brio and the Con Fuoco. And the Con Fuoco's not great here, but it's alright. Taokaka also builds gauge number 3, so that Hexa Edge that we were talking about now live. Although not from this position, unless Taokaka wild swings it. Believe it is Chykka's turn here. I'm trying to find his mouse cursor. Oh, he's just back there. He's looking at Taokaka's cards. I'll give you a hint. They're all bad on defense. Well, I mean, Cat's one's on curve, I guess, but they're not the prettiest cards, especially for defensive strike here. Chykka now checking the deck. This is a position where Taokaka's almost assuredly not going to offensively wild swing because she cannot correct, right? So in a lot of cases she can correct her wild swings with the spending a force to retreat to, but in this case she cannot, right? Because she will advance to the corner and then just retreat more into the corner, so it doesn't actually work. This UA from this specific position, this UA is probably at its worst. I'm interested to see where Zain chooses to spend his gauge, whether it is the Ultra or whether he goes for the Exceed. Sorry, let me zoom out a little bit. We see the Duet boosted. That's going to be +3 power now strike. +3 power in a lot of cases, right? It's not a hit effect, though, but I'm assuming we're going on curve here for Chykka. Don't want to get too spicy. Can, of course, just be a 8 damage spike, but I don't think it is. Nope, we're just going on curve here with the cross. That's going to be 6 damage incoming to Taokaka. Taokaka doesn't really have any defensive options that deals with this as far as her specials and ultras are concerned. So yeah, unsurprising to see the cross there. That is going to be an offensive wild swing from Taokaka here. Taokaka attacking either 1 or 3. It's the wild swing block for Chykka. It's the spike for Taokaka. So Taokaka will spend a force. And yeah, Chykka gets spiked. That's going to be 5 damage incoming. Second spike lands. And I mean, that's just the fun part of fighting Tao, right? Sometimes you just wild swing spike and you just get screwed. What a character. So we see light boosted for Chykka here. It's +2 speed, of course. Chykka does have a speed 6 option, so can go up to speed 8 with the Katabale. Has the sandwich as well, so has additional power and speed on top of that on the specials and ultras. It's going to be another wild swing here from Taokaka at range 3 with the before advance 2. Should Taokaka need it. This game could be almost over. This game could be almost over. We just gotta play odds here for Chykka, right? Just probably pray that slow doesn't come out. I guess something along those lines. How many cards are left? Well, the chances of a slow are more likely than you'd think. Depending on how many ultras are left in the deck. Katabale's speed 8, that's always going to hit, or speed 9 even, it's always going to hit. The issue is, in a lot of cases, it's not going to do a whole lot of damage, and you're gonna get smacked for a lot back in response. If you're Clover in this position. So you could play a spike in theory, right? It's only speed 5 though is the issue. So if Taokaka wild swings that ultra that we're talking about, Something like a spike or a dive is not going to, or even an assault from Chykka is not going to perform well, right? So this is just pure just playing the odds and seeing what comes of it. As a lot of Cowboys games happen to go. Part of the reason why I don't think she's a very fun character to fight as or against, but it's just my personal preference. She can think about wild swinging this himself, funnily enough. We saw him mouse over his deck. Maybe he does want the wild swing spike. Maybe he does want that. Nope, chooses to go with the card from hand. Is the Confoco. This Ultra is not going to do anything against that. Oh, Confoco speed 6 as well. Calculates days range from Nirvana. But does lose to an option like the Ultra. Chykka has to validate his, because his is from hand. The Keeler Special is not going to perform too well. Wait, the Keeler Special performs extremely well against this. Oh, no, Keeler Special does not perform well against this. This is speed 7 Confoco. That's going to be 7 power. Sorry, that's not bad. Yeah, we're looking for the Hexa Edge only. Hexa Edge looked like the only out there for Zain. Bottom of the deck. Not meant to be. That's going to be Zain. Sorry. Poor calls here for my part, but it is 11 o'clock. That's going to be Zain losing game number 2 with the Cowboys. Chykka takes game number 2. Scores the 10th point for the Wardens. Wardens up now. Have won, 10 out of 14 games. Very, very impressive record here. Both players will be relegated to Season 3 characters for their final match. We've seen Season 3 versus Season 3. Season 4 versus Season 4, Season 5 versus Season 5, and now Season 3 versus Season 3. Just a little quirk of sometimes that can happen in this tournament. Just because you're locked out of a season, once you play it, you're locked out for the rest of the set. Yeah, that Killer Special is not going to do anything. I forgot the light was in play. This Confoco was speed 7 on defense, so you needed the Ultra. Or Grasp, but I don't think Grasp was available for Zain at that point in time. Anyway, game 3, we're gonna see the Dan, and we're gonna see the famed Viper. Except it's not gonna be Zain playing the Viper; it's gonna be Chykka on the Viper against the Dan Hibiki from Zain. I don't think I've ever seen. Zain play Dan. I feel like I haven't seen Zain play a lot of characters, though. I feel like he sticks to his 3 or 4 characters. So this should be an interesting one for sure. These are, again, I feel like a lot of players don't consider these 2 characters to be particularly strong. Although I have seen some more. I think Viper is universally declared to be weak, whereas people have made arguments that Dan is actually a decent character. Viper, just a character that, if you look at the kit, just loves that range 3, right? I mean, every card hits at 3, basically. I mean, range 3 card, range 3 card, range 2 card, range 1 card, and then this is the fireball shape, range 3 card again. As we're off already, we're going to see the turn 1 peak. Dan, of course, your UA, I mean, one of the more famous ones, I think. Your wild swings have +1/+1 on crit. What was spent there? Okay, cool. Looks like we are just going to see the wild swing come out here from Dan. It's going to be the core. It's the Danku Kyaku at speed 6, beating the cross. It's going to be a little 3 damage there. And after Dan gets to place a card from hand on top of deck, so Ken manipulate that wild swing should he choose to take it. Actually, is forced to, yeah. That's a cross trying to get out of Gadoken or dive. Wait, why did she... What did I miss? I think I missed a turn. I think I missed a turn. Because for some reason, there's a dive in the discard. Oh, you know what happened? Okay, sorry, I missed the first 2 turns. The first turn was Dan actually boosting the boost that gives you crits on Koryu. It got teched by Viper, and then we went for the peak. I just happened to miss the first turn. I just happened to miss the first turn because I was too busy looking at the kits for Viper, which, by the way, Viper's UA, after you resolve a continuous boost, you may strike. So we're going to see lights into spike, that kind of thing. Light into dive, fierce into emergency combination. Exoskeleton into assault. Funnily enough, we see Chykka boost defend, but no strike there. On backside, Viper gets a reload where she gets to draw 5 cards, and then when she uses her UA, her attack becomes critical. So we see Dan just prepare. We didn't really take a look at Dan's kit here. We have Bad Grasp. Well, not Bad Grasp, but Grasp, like funny card that sometimes works. So we just see Viper prepare and Dan go for the parry. A reminder, Zain is a Viper main. I think Viper is probably Zain's best character. Zain's his highest performing character. Parries the Burn Dance, which of course has a very, very famous boost on it in the Stylish. We'll take a look at Stylish real quick. The opponent has +3 power, but now draw 3 cards, take another action. This boost is very key to a lot of Viper gameplay. So we see the Electrifying come out, spend up to 4 force for each force spent, +4 power. Into a strike. I wonder if this is just the assault here from Chykka. Very, very safe option. Can boost it up to 8 power as well. The only thing is it will just kind of destroy Chykka's hand. But fast, could be slow, could be mid-speed, right? All 3 options available with the defend up, especially. Well, we have a little bit of a lull in the action here. We'll take a look at Dan's kit here. Danku, funny card. Like, what, range 4 to 5, except when the opponent's in the corner. Koryu is the fake uppercut. Oh, no, it's the sweep to break the focus. Spicy from Chykka a little bit. That's going to be an 8 damage sweep. Will break the 7 defenses of the focus, and good start here for Chykka. Drops the leg taunt as well. Leg taunt, one of Dan's best cards. We'll take a look at this, and it basically means everything hits. But we don't need leg taunt where we're going. We're just gonna boost leg taunt here for Zain. This is interesting. I've never seen leg taunt boosted before. Search your deck for any card and add it to your hand. Discard until you have 1 card in hand. You may skip your draw step this turn. I've never seen this boosted before. What? I guess we're revealing the card that we're putting in hands as well. It's the Psycho. Okay, I don't think you have to reveal it, but I think we have revealed it, and then we've discarded it as well, and then we've drawn for end of turn, and then we've taken it back. Okay. So reminder, when Dan's head is empty, he does have free ultras, right? The Shiso is free. And the How Gadoken is free as well. As I think Chykka just prepared. Zain just striking with this card from hand. What a madman. Is this the Shiso, I guess is the question. Is this Shiso? It is Shiso. It's just really spicy gameplay here. Dan just playing a 175. Chykka does have the focus, but that is that's spicy. Of course, Shiso gains advantage, so we're just going for the crit wild swing, baby. Crit wild swing, spike misses, and the block has nothing to block. This is definitely amusing gameplay more than anything else. Chykka builds gauge number 3. Both players on similar life totals. Dan has no hand, of course. Chykka just preps. Zain taking a look at Dan's Exceed side, and I don't think you're going to find what you're looking for back there, buddy. But maybe. I don't know. I forget what Dan's backside is. It's something like you can like draw the bottom card of your deck or something. We're just going for Dan crit wild swing for offensively for Zain again. That's gonna be second spike wild swung. Chykka wins. Chykka builds gauge number 4 with the grasp, dealing 3 damage. Dan with no gauge and no hand now. Things have become a little comical here for Zain, unfortunately, and not in a good way. Not in a good way. I'll take a look at the rest of Dan's kit here. So Koryu is a range 2 speed 6 option that can have random power. I've never gotten 7 power out of this. I will say that much. Godokin, Fireball. I mean, on curve range 4. When you wild swing it on curve range 3. With the recursion effect, Psycho Vision is a decent boost as well. I feel like it's a boost that's often forgotten about. I think Chykka just prepared. Zain, we're just going for the wild swing no crit here. This is spicy. We're just going for the no crit here, hoping to get the Shiso. We did get the Shiso, but it's a cross from hand, so we're gonna have to find something better if we're Dan than the Shiso. Could be a Koryu, could be a Grasp. It's the Godokin. Godokin's not gonna work. That's gonna be 3 more damage coming out for Viper here into Dan. Viper finds herself at range 4. Chykka wins combat yet again. That's going to be gauge number 5 now from Chykka. Those wild swing spikes or something else, man. That's so unfortunate for Zain. If one of those 2 hit, then maybe we'd be looking at a different game, but maybe not, judging on how Zain's been playing. So we see expenditure of 1 force for Viper to move to range 3. Range 3 is her wheelhouse, with cards like Emergency Combination and Burn Kick and Burn Dance. Zain just going for the wild swings again. I mean, praying that this is Assault here, I think, if you're Zain. Chykka just goes for the safe block. It is the Koryu, which misses. And don't, Zain trying to put on his Taukaka cosplay, I think. That Koryu will miss, of course. Viper now to blocks, at least. Chris Shiso would beat the cross. Yeah, but would it have been that strike that got crit? I can't remember, Rose, if I'm being honest. Also, hello, Rose. Welcome to the stream. So we see the Stylish come out. Stylish into Cheater. Classic stuff here from Viper. We're going to be cheating out the Electrifying, plus 4 force. And we're almost just plus 1 power for force spent. And this is going to be an on-curve thing. Ooh, but Dan does wild swing the cross. So that Assault from Viper will miss. Dan at range 2, sure, we'll just go again. We'll wild swing at range 2. Out of crosses and out of Koryus, though. So this means we're going to be under curve here if we're Dan, right? We have 2 assaults left in our deck. Viper plays the defensive spike, and that's going to beat the block. That's going to be another 5 damage coming in for Viper over Dan. And I mean, this game was over a while ago, but now it's really looking over, huh? If we're looking at the cards that are left for Dan, there's just no hope. I mean, you can wild swing 2 Howls, sure, but then what? And it's just like if Viper even plays like an Assault, then like Assault beats Howl. We're at range 2, we're out of crosses, we're out of Koryus, we're out of leg taunts as well. I mean, leg taunt is not really a factor here when you have no gauge. We have 1 copy of Shiso left, with 2 copies of Howl left. We just gotta play smart, just play the odds here if you're Chykka. It does have only 5 cards in hand. But surely there's a combo play here, though. I think Chykka's actually concerned about the Howls more than anything else. 13 cards left in deck for Dan, 2 Howls left in that deck. That's probably your main concern here if you're Chykka, more than anything else. As I silently fix typos on the card tracker. Because I can't spell under pressure, I guess. Can't type under pressure. Hey, Chykka wins this 3-0. That's going to be huge for the Wardens here. Wardens of the Garden. Can't fit that whole name. I don't know why, but I guess XC players just really like really long team names. Wardens of the Garden isn't even closest to the longest team name. But no, you're just going to be shortened to the Wardens here. At least on this scoreboard. Cowboys are just the Cowboys. They have no qualifier to their name. I think they're just the Cowboys. I never changed the characters at the top, huh? My bad. Let me do that now. I should probably automate this, but I have not done that yet. I've been too lazy to do that. Should at least automate the card tracker, just autofill in the names, so I don't struggle at the start of every single match to fill in the names on the card tracker beforehand. Should probably do that at some point. Just feeling just lazy though, more than anything else. So I believe it's Chykka's turn, because he's frantically moving his mouse back and forth. You see the cheater come out here again for Viper. Probably her second most famous boost after Stylish. So we're going plus 4 power again. I'm assuming this is assault or an assault like, and yeah, it is going to be the assault like. We are on front side, so this was not crit. So we're not getting advantage here, but yeah, we're going to be spending 4 force here to pop the defenses of the focus. That's going to be 6 total power coming into Dan. Dan's going to be sitting at range 1, which is probably better than range 2, honestly. But Dan will only have 3 HP to his name. Chykka did crit. Alright, well, Chykka crit then. Alright, well, then Chykka gets advantages now at range 1. What's up, Migo? You're witnessing a bit of a murder here. A little bit of a murder. As Dan has no gauge, no prospects. And now it's going to be the Exceed. When, of course, Viper exceeds, she draws a bunch of cards. We're down 3 HP to 22 for Dan. What is our avenue back? We're just wild swinging. Getting out of range 2 is a big deal because the Hows are no longer in the game. Yeah, very true. Wild swing grasp beats the grasp. Hows now back into the game. Although I'm pretty sure Chykka has a second assault in hand, so I don't think Hows are going to be how Chykka gets back into the game, unfortunately, or how Dan gets back into the game, unfortunately. Like, I'm pretty sure this is just going to be, although there's no, oh yeah, there's no armor left on, but Dan does have the crit though, so I guess you can't just play assault anymore. We've been running this game on the assumption that Dan has had no gauge, but Dan has gauge now. Maybe Dan takes a step back to, or maybe Viper takes a step back to range 5 and tries to win with a Seismo, perhaps, now. And then, like, I mean, if Crit Danku comes out, but you try to win with the Seismo, I think is now the play for Viper. Because, I mean, How will dodge the Seismo, right? Because attacks at range 2 to 5 do not hit you. But that's not the end of the world, because you don't actually get hit by the How. So I'm thinking maybe Viper should take a step back to range 5 here. And go for that. Zain has no armor left. Should be okay. Should be okay. Instead, we're going to be boosting the blasting. That's going to be plus 1 power, plus 5 guard. No crit on this for some reason, but okay. I mean, that's going to be game 3 going to Chykka as well. That's going to be a 3-0 sweep for the Wardens here over the Cowboys. Chykka with a 3-0 over Zain. And that's going to be very good for his team. They're up to 11 points, so they're already tied for first. But I believe Rose still has not played her matches just yet, so the Wardens could be up to 14 points by the end of this week. And if they get up to that 13-14 range, they're going to be absolutely looking dominant to win this tournament. Because I'm pretty sure it's just 3 rounds of Swiss, and whoever has the most number of points by the end of this tournament wins. So the Wardens with 11 points are looking really, really good here. 11 out of a possible 15. Unfortunately, that means for the Cowboys, they only have 5 out of 15. So they're looking pretty rough here so far in the tournament. Maybe they can make a comeback, but they're gonna have to really have a killer week 3 to be able to make that comeback. So they can only score a maximum of 8 points by the end of this week. I'm doing all this like table analysis, but I actually don't have like a table of points or anything. Maybe I'll have a table of points for the next match. It doesn't seem like something too difficult to make, so maybe I'll just make one of those real quick. But anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. If you're on Twitch, feel free to leave a follow. If you're on the YouTube, feel free to like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Thank you guys so much for your support. I think I'm like 1 sub away from 50 subs on YouTube, which is pretty hype. Happy that you guys are enjoying the content that we're putting out. Of course, it's all thanks to the players. Of course, I mean, if there were no players and there was no tournament, there'd be no content, right? So thank you to the players especially for letting me host their games. But other than that, I don't have much more to say. We'll see you for the next one. Don't know when the next one will be. Probably. Well, the thing is, I'm busy this weekend outside of Friday night, so maybe we'll have a little Friday night match. If not, then probably just look forward to a match next week. More than one match, probably, obviously. But thank you guys so much for watching, and we will see you for the next one. Alright, guys, take care. Bye-bye.